Hello, and welcome to this week's edition of The Big Money Show, brought to you by the team of Big Financial Services. I'm your host, Kristen Oakley, and joining me in the studio is the president, Glenn Cummings. We're so glad you're spending this time with us today. Welcome, and thank you for watching. You know, we always want to talk about subjects that we know are important to you and the success of your retirement. And we're going to talk about something today that we've done shows about in the past. It always gets a huge response, and that is the subject of long-term care. Are you prepared for it? We know that folks are often scared of this topic. They are scared of running out of money, and rightly so, with the costs being so astronomical. But we want you to be prepared and empower you to make the best decisions possible so that you can be prepared to navigate through these choices for yourself and for your loved ones. So Glenn, my friend, are you ready?
Let's go. You know, it's like a lot of topics we discuss are growing your money, you know, having a great retirement. I mean, that's what we want for our clients, right? But one of the biggest problems that we face is generally 65, 75% of us over the age of 65, before we pass, these are different studies that have been accomplished, state that we could run out of money due to long-term care cost, right? So if you don't have that built into your plan, if you're retired or close to retirement and your advisor has never discussed this problem with you, you need to sit down with us, right? Because it's not a problem that you can't overcome. It's a part of the planning process that if this does occur, which a very high percentage of folks are going to deal with it. I've dealt with it, right?
Yep.
You know, I talk about it in previous shows. My mother-in-law, 4 years of Alzheimer's, right? Took care of her in our home for 3 years, and then a full year in and out of nursing homes. Very, very difficult subject to talk about, but she didn't have any money to pay for it, so it came out of our pocket.
Right.
You know, father-in-law, 4 years of cancer. My mom, 4 years of breast cancer. She passed away in our dining room in a little hospice bed. Those are very difficult things that in retirement, we want to enjoy our retirement. We want to travel. We want to do all these wonderful things. But when we do get older, we do run the risk of having health issues.
Yes.
And having a care or a cost that is a huge, huge, huge burden. And none of us want to become a burden on our family members, do we?
Right.
Right? So planning and preparing for it. And the traditional long-term care insurance that has been sold for years is so expensive.
It is, yes.
And as you get older and you get closer to needing this care, the cost just keeps getting bigger and bigger. I think they did another study. It doubles generally in cost every 10 years. You know, so if long-term care today is $5,000 to $10,000 a month, it's going to be between $10,000 to $20,000 a month 10 years from now. So that can really, really affect a family's net worth. That can affect a family's livelihood. And it's not only difficult when you see your family go through these different things. When they're sick, there's only so much we can do. We want them to not be sick, you know. We want to be there. We want to take care of them. And I did. For 15 years of my family's life was taking care of sick family members. And I think that gave me a real eye-opener into what my clients experience. It's not like I'm not experienced in that. I'm really experienced in it.
I was going to say, you have the added benefit, if you will, now on the other side of being able to relate firsthand and treat these situations with such care and compassion, having lived through it yourself. But also, I'm sure it's motivated you to help more folks get prepared so that they don't have to in turn endure what you did, right?
And I see that a lot of advisors, a lot of them are younger, okay, and that's great. There's a lot of new, younger advisors coming in to this business. But none of them, in my opinion, when I see people's plans, all I do is ask you, and I'm asking you right now, you're sitting on your couch at home, do you have a plan that makes sure that if you get sick down the road, that your spouse and yourself financially can afford to have good care? I don't want you to have the worst care, the least expensive care. You want to have the best care. And you know, my aunt was 104 years old when she passed away.
Wow.
Her last 15 years, she lived in one of the most beautiful assisted living facilities. She got to have the best food. She had full-time care. Even when she got to the point where she couldn't walk and she was in a wheelchair, she had 2 or 3 people to help her at any time. They'd pack up this bus and they'd go to watch movies, they'd go to different shows. She loved that nursing home and that assisted living facility. You know, so she started in the assisted living, then went to the nursing home part. But it was expensive.
Yeah.
Right? And by the time she passed, many of the family members, right, that were beneficiaries, the estate was way, way smaller. She was a very wealthy woman. But you know what? She really, truly enjoyed being in the assisted living. She enjoyed being around folks. She enjoyed playing
that community
cards.
aspect, right? Yeah.
They would bring in people to play the piano and stuff. So I'm not saying that long-term care is this horrible thing that we're going to have to experience. But if I have more money to cover that, then I can go to the better facility. You know, it's just like if I'm going to go to a hotel, I can go to a Motel 6, right? And I'm not beating up on Motel 6. I'm sorry, don't sue me today, okay, Motel 6. I should have said that, okay? But I could go to a tiny little hotel, or I can go to a beautiful hotel.
Right.
I can get one that has an ocean view.
A resort.
A resort, you know, when they have the best food, and when you call down, they come right away and take care of you, right? The whole point is this: plan for care down the road. You have to. And then if you don't need that care, right, there's a lot more money that'll go to your spouse if you pass, or a lot more money that can go to your kids or beneficiaries.
Right.
But having that money sitting there is the most important thing. Another thing too is that most kids, they've done another study and analysis, the kids really don't care what they get at the end of the rainbow. They just want to make sure that mom and dad aren't a burden on them because they don't have the planning to cover those costs. If you have the money to cover those costs and the planning is set in place, and if that does occur, it's not such a stressful situation for family members. So many of you have been through this. Right? You've been through sick family members, and I understand. I deal with the death claims. I've had recently a few death claims. We're there to support you. We're there to help you. You know, it's not all about managing your money.
Right.
You know, it's about planning for future problems that can occur. And then when I eliminate that problem in my mind, and I know that, hey, down the road, I'm not going to become a burden on my kids. Down the road, I've got this chunk of money that's set aside for these problems that could occur. Then I feel better in retirement. I'm able to enjoy myself more. But it's nice knowing that you have a plan that is set in place. And our complimentary written financial plan includes all of that. It includes growing your money. It includes taking income that will hopefully lasts the rest of your life. It covers long-term care. And we also want to reduce the taxes, because in a lot of cases, I've been able to sit down with folks and say, this big taxable account, if we can just convert some of this through Roth conversions, right? Once we pay those taxes and we set that money aside in that account, that could be the long-term care account. Right? Because if I have to pull a lot of money to cover my long-term care expenses from my IRAs, those are all 100% taxable at ordinary income tax rates, right?
Yep.
Bigger tax problems out there. So let's plan for the future. Let's sit down and figure this out. If all you have is a monthly statement from your advisor, a monthly statement from your 401k, and you don't have a bona fide plan that's this thick that covers all of those issues, you need to give us a call. Let's sit down. Let's have a fresh cup of coffee, as I mentioned. We're going to get together 3, 4, sometimes 5 times to share all of the different options that are available. We may put 1, 2, or 3 different options, and you're going to be the boss, not me. You're going to be the one that says, Glenn, that's the one we feel the most comfortable with. Let's move forward with that plan. And then once we implement that plan, it's not like, here's your plan, we'll never see you again. No, you're going to come visit with me at least a couple times a year. You're going to have to hear my bad jokes, okay? You're going to have to watch more of our show, right? You know, it's going to be fun, but we're also here for you when things go bad, right? And having a positive person that's there for you, that's been through the trenches, that's been through these difficult times, is going to really bless your family. Okay? I know I keep talking because I'm so passionate about this, but I have a client now. I recently just spoke with him, and he had lost his wife. He's a mess, right? And he's talked to his pastor, he's talked to this person, talked to that person. But we had a meeting scheduled in a week from now, and he just wanted to talk to me now. He called me and left a message on my cell phone. And we're in between our TV shows. We're very busy. And I said, I'm going to call him. I'm going to take a few minutes. And the whole staff here, the whole team here said, Glenn, we'll let you have that few minutes. I called him on the phone, and he's like, Glenn, thank you. Because I'm the one that's helping the financial end of his stress and anxiety. Because his wife used to handle all of it. Right? My main thing was, hey, buddy, you're going to be okay. You know, the plans we have set in place for you are ironclad. This is going to be okay. This is going to give you that income you're always going to have. It'll never go away. This is going to be a little bit of growth over here to your money. In case you get sick, here's another chunk of money we've set aside. Oh my gosh, I forgot about that, Glenn. Yeah, he goes, Glenn, I feel so much better. And those are the kind of things for me that when you do this for as many years as I've done it, and you're able to bless families, it blesses me. It gives me a purpose. It gives me a purpose to say, Glenn, you're doing the right thing for people, and you're helping them.
Yes, no, for sure. It's about being there for folks and being able to do life with them. And what a blessing to have that plan in place and be proactive before that day comes. So here's the deal. We know that the subject of long-term care that we are specifically focusing on today can feel very overwhelming. It can feel like something that's not a fun thing to think about. But if you have been needing to plan for this important piece of your financial future, we encourage you to reach out. It's not new to Glenn and the team of Big Financial Services. You don't have to go it alone. They are here to help and serve you. But you do need to pick up the phone and call. So we encourage you to schedule that time to come in and receive your complimentary written financial plan. You can do so by calling 888-503-7408. Or if you'd like to connect online, simply scan that QR code and that will get you connected as well. Stay with us. When we come back, we're going to talk about some of the solutions that exist for you to make sure that you can cover this important piece of your care, along with maybe we'll get into that tax conversation as we often do, right?
Goodness.
It's a good one. So stay with us. We'll be back right after this.
I used to sell vacuum cleaners door to door, and my brother-in-law said, Glenn, you can't keep doing that. You know, you need to look at something long-term. I was only 21 years old back then and started working with a life insurance company called MetLife and really learned how important that type of job was. Working with people, working with retirees, seeing people unfortunately lose their lives, you know, doing death claims. Never really knew about it, honestly. I was too young at the time, and all I knew is I was going to hopefully work for a company that was a big life insurance company. I really didn't understand a lot of those things. But once I actually started working there and I started seeing what the company's all about and all the things it does to help families, it really was something that was really special. My first death claim was a mascot of a pep rally, and he was the principal of a school, and unfortunately he passed away. I was the one that did the death claim, 21 years old. And you know, when his wife came in and we sat down, I could just feel the devastation, not only for her, but for me. And to be that person that's sitting there to do all of this paperwork for her, you know, relieve all the stress and the anxiety she was dealing with at the time, and to say, hey, you know what? Your husband bought this policy for you and for your family and for your kids. And to deliver that death claim check was a very powerful thing. And I realized at that moment, this is something that really can impact families, and been in the business and loved it ever since.
Welcome back to the Big Money Show. I'm Kristen Oakley here with the president of Big Financial Services, Glenn Cummings, and we're so glad that you're joining us today. If you're just tuning in, we have been talking a lot on today's show so far about the subject of long-term care. We know that the costs are absolutely astronomical. It's something that concerns a lot of folks, and rightly so. But Glenn, you know, you were talking earlier about the importance of obviously planning for this proactively.
Yes.
And I find that once folks have done this, once you have that plan in place, it really frees you up, because then you can have the confidence to know that you can still enjoy your life in retirement and during your physical able-bodied years. and be confident that you won't run out later and that you've got your care covered. So I'd love for you to share in detail some of the solutions that currently exist to pay for long-term care, because we know that traditional long-term care is very expensive, and for a lot of folks, they may not qualify, it may not apply to their situation. So walk us through the options that are available.
Well, there's a lot of different options that are available, and the key is when you sit down with a financial professional that focuses on that end of retirement, right? We focus on every aspect of retirement, not just growing your money, not just income, but also long-term care, taxes, estate planning. You know, we're going to cover all those bases, but some of the plans that are available today will not make you be confined to a nursing home. Most of the plans that have been sold for previous years require you to be confined to a nursing home for a period of time. Sometimes it could be 90 days or 6 months before that plan will then start helping with those costs. I see a big issue. The big issue that I see, like with my mother-in-law, my mom, my father-in-law, is that they really didn't need that long-term care portion of their help or care until they were sick for a number of years. Well, those numbers of years, we took care of them, okay? I would never look back and make any changes to that, okay? Because my mom never went into a nursing home, thank goodness, okay? She passed away, like I said, in a little hospice bed in our home, okay? It's the only way I wanted it to go for her, and it's the only way she wanted it to go, right? But some of these new plans will allow you to have access to the money for care that can be used for basically any expense that you have to take care of mom or dad in the home. And we didn't have those when I was, you know, going through this process, right? So those are available. So if you do have a long-term care plan or policy, make sure that it covers in-home care. If it's only long-term care, reach out to us. Let's see if you're eligible for something that may cover in-home care, right? We want to take care of our family members. We don't want to just give up their care to a nursing home or to people that really might not care about them as much as we do, right? So in-home care, as long as you have that help, because we had the help. We had to pay for it. But it was nice to be able to have the help that could come out, help take care of my mother-in-law, my father-in-law, help take care of cooking, right? Bathing, taking them back and forth to doctor's appointments, those kind of things, to where they had dignity when they were sick. I want dignity. I want my family to be there for me. And then, of course, down towards the end, you know, long-term care usually is a pretty important part of things, but that's when the care gets very expensive. So in a lot of cases, if you have in-home care, some of the different plans we'll share with you include that, where it doesn't cost as much money. Got it? So yeah, give us a call. That's a part of our written financial plan. It's all a part of that, putting all of it together and making sure we cover every one of those aspects. And we may have an entire meeting or even two just on the long-term care portion with you folks. You know, we may have a meeting just on taxes. We may have a meeting just on income. We're going to have 4 or 5 meetings that we don't push you or force you or high pressure you to buy something. We don't play games like that. We're going to share what's available. You're the decision maker. It's your money. It's your investments. But we're experienced. We know how this happens. If you don't have some type of plan that covers those care costs down the road, sit down with us, give us a call, and we'd love to meet with you.
Wonderful. Glenn, thank you so much.
Yes.
To our viewers at home, that number to call to schedule your complimentary written financial plan is there for you on the bottom of your screen, 888-503-7408. Again, this is for no cost, no charge, and no obligation. It's simply an invitation to have a conversation to see how Glenn and the team of Big Financial Services can help and serve you. Or again, if you'd rather connect online, simply scan that QR code and that will get you connected as well. When we come back, Glenn mentioned earlier the importance of potentially moving money from taxed always accounts to taxed never again. We're going to share some strategies for how you can do that, and that will help set you up for success later in your years right after this.
So you have a 401k with a former employer. Great, fantastic. You know, that means you've been able to accumulate some wealth, it's growing. But the problem is you don't have a lot of investment options that may be available to you except for what's in that 401k. So what's the best option that we see in a lot of cases? For clients to simply roll that over. No taxes, they simply roll that over to another IRA if you have an IRA account. And once that money rolls over, you can look at other options that may be available that you're not even aware of. Sit down with a professional, someone that can help you look over that 401k and either stay in the current plan or look to roll that over to where you may have better options that may help improve your retirement in the future. Look at reducing those taxes, look at getting a great income plan. That's something our company loves to do for folks. We'd love to share them with you. Please give us a call today.
Welcome back to the Big Money Show. I'm Kristen Oakley here with Glenn Cummings, and today so far on today's show, we've been talking a lot about the importance of planning for your long-term care needs. But really, this is just one piece of the conversation that goes into building a comprehensive, holistic financial plan for you. And something that we are very passionate about talking about on the show is how you can create greater tax efficiency throughout your full financial plan. And Glenn, earlier you mentioned this in the show, that there is such beauty to being able to help your clients move money from their tax deferred accounts, things like traditional 401ks, traditional 403bs, traditional IRAs, over into the taxed never again bucket through a process known as Roth conversions. Touch on that, and then I know we're going to share a resource for our viewers as well.
Yeah, think about this. If I go out to dinner, right, I'm generally going to pay a 20% tip. They do a good job.
Right.
Could you imagine every dollar that you pull out of your retirement account, you're having to pay 20 to 30% as a tip? That's the IRS, right? And then you go out to dinner, you pay another 20% tip, right?
Yep.
40% of your money's gone.
Yeah.
Right? But if I can take my money out of that account and have it be tax-free, that's a very powerful thing. And a lot of folks don't understand how much taxes impact their retirement and the money their spouses get. Because if I have an IRA and I pass away, now my spouse is a single taxpayer, and single taxpayers generally pay higher taxes than married filing jointly. And then when my kids inherit it, they're taxed on it.
Right.
Right? So some of the tools we have will blow you away. And this tax calculator is the thing that we share every show. It's very powerful. This is the thing that has just really taken off. And everyone out there is trying to figure out how to create this tax calculator, all right? Because it's very powerful. But I'm going to let you share it, okay?
Sure.
Because you do such a great job with sharing this. I don't want to mess it up today, okay? I mean, I'm going to let you
It's a
share.
team effort, but
It's a
I
team
will gladly do
Yes,
that.
please share it with everybody.
Awesome. Well, to access this tax bill calculator, you can get there in one of two ways. Simply visit the website bigtaxbill.com, or you can scan that QR code with your smartphone, and here is what you're going to see. We're going to walk you through how to utilize this awesome free tool. You're going to enter some basic information, no strings attached, here on this landing page. It's going to ask you for your name, the email address that you want your complimentary report sent to, as well as your current age. Why? Because what this software will do for you is actually calculate your potential tax bill over the rest of your life. Then you're also going to put in the amount that you have saved up in tax deferred accounts. Again, for you, that could be a traditional 401k, a traditional 403b, traditional IRA, things of that nature. You'll notice two little sliders there at the bottom that you can play around with. One is you can adjust your assumed tax liability, and then also the assumed growth rate on that tax-deferred bucket of money. Then, once you click submit, two things are going to happen. Immediately, you're going to see side by side the difference between the government's tax plan for you there on the left if you do nothing versus how much less you could pay in tax over your lifetime if you enact some of these tax saving strategies that we're talking about here. But that's not all. You're also going to receive this complimentary 4-page report emailed to you. This is one page of that report that will show you the breakdown of your numbers side by side. And Glenn, I heard your reaction. I know, it's mind-blowing, right? Once you see that difference side by side, you can't unsee it. And I know it brings so much awareness to folks of the potential ticking tax time bomb, if you will, that they're playing with for their retirement, and they have no idea.
They have no idea. And that $1.6 million number at the bottom there, that's not money that's in my pocket.
Right.
or my kids or my family's pocket. That's the money that goes to the IRS.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Out of my savings, that's how much over my lifetime I'm going to pay in taxes
Right.
on $500,000.
Yep.
That is insane, right? And I sit down with folks all the time. I said, do you talk to your CPA about this? Right? I did a big CPA conference and I talked to all of them. None of them focus on future taxes.
They're all about how to save money from taxes from last year, right?
Yes. Yeah, and how to pre-tax to save on taxes now. So give us a call. Go do that big tax bill calculator. We're not going to bother you or call you. Just get that free report. It literally will be in your email in a heartbeat. Check it out. You'll be blown away. I've had clients that sometimes will put in different amounts, different interest rates. You can do it multiple times. You don't have to do it just once.
Right. It's eye-opening. I suggest you play around with it, right?
And if you don't have your advisor that's sharing the stuff with you, or you're not aware of all these tax problems you could have in the future, give us a call. We'll sit down. A few meetings later, we'll share a great couple of ideas with you, some different plans. We give you copies to take home. You're the decision maker, not us. It's your money, it's not ours. We're here to help serve you, but we want to try to help you with these taxes.
Yes, so that you can keep more of your hard-earned money for you.
Yes.
Well, my goodness, Glenn, we've covered a lot today. We've talked about long-term care. We've talked about tax efficiency. And really, again, we could spend an entire show talking about each one of those and so much more that goes into building a comprehensive, holistic financial plan for yourself. What do you want to leave viewers with today as we wrap up this important conversation?
As we always mention, don't procrastinate, okay? If you're at home and you don't have a full financial plan right now, right? If all you're getting is monthly statements from your advisor, everything's good, just hang in there. No, I want a plan. I want to know what's going to happen at this time, what's going to happen at this time. I want to know what's going to happen if I lose my spouse. If I lose my spouse, I could lose income. I want to know if I need long-term care, if the money's there, if it's tax-free money that's available or taxable money. These are very, very important things, right? Plan, prepare. You're going to love to work with us. Give us a call.
Wonderful. Glenn, thank you so much.
Thank you, Kristen, as always.
Oh, my pleasure. Well, and
yes.
thank you all for watching. The show would be nothing without all of you, and we hope that you found it to be helpful and valuable. That's how it's intended each and every week. We encourage you to reach out and schedule your time to receive your very own complimentary written financial plan. 888-503-7408 is that number to call, or again, you're welcome to scan that QR code, and I know Glenn is looking forward to meeting with you soon. Thanks so much for watching. We love you, Tampa Bay. We'll see you next time here on The Big Money Show.